of the JAPOHR method. So ngayon, we will be listening to our partners from the local government unit on how they were able to use the JAPOHR method and how they're able to detect more rabies cases, success stories. So this is the exciting part of our program. So first, we'd like to call on Dr. Liamica Fernando from PVO Bulacan. Thank you, Doc, to share their experience in PVO Bulacan.
So good morning, everyone. I am Liamica Fernando from Provincial Veterinary Office. I am the rabies focal person. So in Bulacan, we have 4 cities and 20 municipalities. Here, only 13 municipalities or cities we have a veterinarian, and 11 has no veterinarian. So here we have rabies laboratory satellite, only 7. Because of that, those who have without veterinarian, we cannot unfortunately do rabies laboratory satellite. Kasi po kailangan may vet na magte-test po. So before the project, our veterinarians relied solely on the regional animal disease or rather to confirm its rabies cases. So when the client submitted the head specimen to the provincial veterinary office, we didn't immediately submit the head specimen because it is depends on the availability of the our service card, and also few people know that we can test rabies for free. So because of that, the average rabies cases from 2018 to 2020, we have only 36 cases. Because of JAPOHR project, we have been doing the quick response method, namely the active case investigation, contact tracing, notification and education campaign, restriction on free roaming animal, and ring vaccination. So the experience po namin during the JAPOHR project, this is in Malolos. So on September 13, a private vet reported a suspected rabid dog. After that, on September 14, the dog reportedly died on Wednesday evening, and it was buried in the morning. So from the provincial vet office, we immediately went to the house, and the carcass was disinterred and it is tested rabies positive. So on that day also, an exposed animal was bitten by the rabid dog, reported dog, and quarantined immediately at the dog pound in Malolos. So because September 14 is Friday, the ring vaccination happened on Monday, September 17. So this concludes that the rapid action by the team was essential for detecting rabies cases, especially when the carcass was buried. And also, it is also important to strengthen a good partnership with private veterinarians, not only in the LGUs, to have a quick response. So the next is from Bustos, a 6-year-old male student and 3 dogs were bitten by a stray dog. And then the dog was euthanized by the father, and then the head specimen brought to the provincial vet office to test using the ICT, and then within the 15 minutes, the result tested positive. So after that, we reported the case to the Bulacan Medical Center, to the city vet office, and then to the PHO, so to activate the quick response and rabies investigation. So this one, we talk to PHO, so we also investigate the human bite cases, not only the 3 dogs who are bitten by the stray dog. So after that, in the morning, City Bank Office Malolos caught the three dogs and brought to the city pound for observation. Fortunately, they don't have signs of rabies. And then rabies investigation and information education campaign conducted on the afternoon. So on the October 28th, ring vaccination happened by the CBO Malolos. So here on the first and second picture, we use the DA geotag. So we can also get the coordinates, the latitude and longitude, because in the RADs, we need to apply the coordinates. So that before the project, we can only detect, we can see the result after 1 to 3 days, but now we can do it in 15 minutes because of the ICT. So from October 2021 to May 2023, the PVO office tested out of 45 test kits used, 30 of them is positive from different municipalities around the provincial health office. So with that, from 2021 to 2023, it's not included there. But the average previous positive, 61 after the JAPOHR project. So this is the diagram. So as you can see, San Jose Delmote has the highest previous case. Next is the Pulilan and also Santa Maria. So Santa Maria is already a rabies laboratory satellite this year. So that's why, as you can see, it's high. And so this is the breakdown of the rabies positive cases from 2019 to 2023 second quarter. So lessons learned. So lateral flow device, it is easy, fast, and reliable device for detection of rabies. As you can see, we can respond quicker and contain the disease in a much faster time. Rabies data share system help us link with the barangays and municipal health agriculture offices, making our office against rabies a more comprehensive approach. As you can see here, example, if we tested a rabies positive from the office, we will immediately report it to the PHO and also to the MHO, and then the MHO will report it to barangay to have a case investigation. On the other side, the PHO will also report it to MHO, so they will also conduct a case investigation for human bite cases. After that, trainings for dog catching and vaccinations in the provisions of observation cages, catchnet and catchpole has helped the barangays respond quicker to dog catching requests by their constituents. So based on my experiences, their cages, catchpole and catches are all helpful because we immediately respond to the probable rabies case in the area. And then rabies investigation in the province has also increased a lot because of RADs and LFD. Since we can test samples faster, municipal and barangay officials can disseminate rabies positive cases to the general public quicker, leading to faster coordination and information gathering for the investigators. So our sustainability plan, after the project, we will continue our activities like rabies awareness seminar, dog catching and surveillance training, LD diagnostic and RADS training, especially those municipalities who have veterinarians, and then anti-rabies vaccination and catch, vaccinate, and release training in barangay officers. So the PVO will replicate the lessons we learned from JAPOHR project to 5 remaining districts of our province. So here are some of the case investigation we had together with the JAPOHR project team. And we also input the poster, the barangay. Yun lamang po. Thank you.
Question and answer? No.
Okay, thank you so much for that very wonderful sharing of experience for PVO Bulacan. Thank you, Dr. Fernando. Before we move to the next speaker, would there be any questions from here or online? Any questions? Would you like clarifications? Wala. Okay. So with that, let's move on to our next speaker. We'll have a very active veterinarian from San Jose Delmote City. Please welcome Dr. R.B. Banag.
All right, good morning, everyone. If you guys are wondering why am I standing here in front of you instead of Doc R.B. Banag, supposedly he's supposed to talk here in front regarding this, but unfortunately, I think after the highest number of previous cases, nawalan siya ng gas. No, but kidding aside, it's my honor to be presenting to you our experiences, project experiences with the collaboration of JAPOHR in our office. And he's not going to retire, by the way. He's just there. Actually, he's going to discuss the para-veterinary system of our city later on the afternoon session, I think. Anyway, before I start, thank you so much, Dr. Nobu, for partnering with us on this project. All right, so the CVO JAPOHR project experience representing and Dr. Paula Macabare, the veterinarian one. So in here, this was our process flow before there was an ICT test kit on our city before it was introduced to us by the JAPOHR. And I think this was the traditional way of the testing of or diagnosing the suspected rabid animal. So just like before, there are going to be rabies cases report from different barangays. And then with this, we are going to make a profile out of it, interview. We will do a rabies surveillance. All right, and then the suspected animal will also undergo 14-day observation period, just like before. And then if the animal dies, we are going to send the specimen to the RADA laboratory for the DFAT confirmatory tests. So, and the results will be emailed to us within 2 to 3 days. So that's only the time that we can notify the victim and the pet owners as well as the city health office with the result of the tests. So imagine to us, in our case, since we're from San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, our distance from San Jose del Monte, Bulacan to Pampanga, it's about, I think, 50 to 60 kilometers, so that far. The distance really is a hindrance for us to diagnose the specimen. So aside from that, the distance, of course, the time travel or the travel time alone, it might take, I think, 2 hours at most, or that. Sorry about that. So I think it might take 2 hours at most to deliver the specimen. And aside from that, also the expenses, gasoline, food allowance, and of course the availability of the vehicle. In our office, we only have one vehicle that can deliver the specimen to the laboratory. And overall, it might take almost 20 days just to have a result. Right? So that alone, at the overall, those were the disadvantages of the process without the LFD or the lateral flow device. So here are the animal rabies cases of our office from the year 2011 to 2020. And later on, you will see the difference. Before there was no ICT yet. So later on, after the ICT, you will see the drastic change. Okay, so on January 29, 2021, we underwent orientation and training on ICT test kit course with the help of the JAPOHR, together with the Provincial Veterinary Office of Malolos, Bulacan, Mao of Giginto, and the JAPOHR Projects Team Leader, Dr. Nobu Saito, and Dr. Lacanila, the Field Veterinarian. So here are the highlights of the demonstration and hands-on training on how to perform the straw method and how to use the ICT test kit. So included also in the training are the proper use of the PPE and also the proper beheading of the specimen. And of course, the proper disposal as well. So there. Immediately after we underwent the training, we immediately implemented the use of this device or the ICT test kit to our program. And after we learned the use or how to use this device, we also immediately conducted training to our non-veterinarians personnel as well, just like our medical technologists. So there. Also, with Dr. Nobo's team, they were also able to see the actual field surveillance when there was a case report within the barangay. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were amazed on how fast and quick response we have when in terms of the barangay cases report. And with the help, of course, of our barangay para-veterinary workers, because they are trained enough. All right. So in terms of the accuracy, a total of 12 kits were used on the year 2021. And also a total of 77 kits used during the year of 2022. 46 of this tested positive, while 43 tested negative. So all of these ICT tested specimen have given the same result on confirmatory test using DFAT, thereby yielding 100% accuracy. Meanwhile, during the year 2023, a total of 49 test kits were used. 34 of these kits tested positive, while 17 turned out to be negative. One ICT kit tested false positive, while one ICT kit tested false negative upon the confirmatory DFAT test, thereby yielding 96% accuracy. So there. Therefore, we can conclude that with ICT test kit or LFT, it yields fast result, very convenient to use, very easy to use, because even non-veterinarians can also use this device. It yields accurate results, very high percentage accuracy, and therefore overall it is a very reliable device in diagnosing rabies. So also with Dr. Nobo's team, they also introduced to us the RADS or the Rabies Data Share System on that same year, in the middle of that year. And a training was done together with the City Health Office, Hospital ng Lungsod of Jose Delmote, Animal Bite Treatment Center, City Vet Office, of course, and the JAPOHR, and JAPOHR's Field Veterinarian and IT Programmer. And after the training, we immediately implemented the system to our rabies surveillance program. So, with this also, we were able to come up with our own version of this, of this system. And we made advantage of our current technology by using our social media. And with this, we used Facebook. We created our own rabies surveillance network by creating this group chats. So within this group chat, we included as members, some of which are the City Veterinary Office Rabies Coordinator, City Health Office Rabies Coordinator, and the Hospital ng Lungsod Rabies Coordinator. So within this group chat, we can easily report or send reports regarding the suspected rabies cases and even the confirmed ones. Also, we made a different group chat because we didn't want to make this group chat more saturated, because if there are too many members, I think the group chat will become more chaotic, so we don't want that. Instead, we made a separate group chat wherein we added the barangay para veterinary workers as members, wherein they will be alerted once there are rabies cases reported within their barangay. Alright, so with the use of the ICT, we were able to formulate our rabies surveillance and action flowchart. This was concluded by the Committee on Rabies through local health board. So it's pretty much just like before, but instead we added the difference was we added the use of the ICT test kit now. So also, through this rabies surveillance system, the City Health Office, the Animal Bite Treatment Center, will be more. They can decide more whether they will continue the series of vaccination with the human bite victims. So nakakatipid din po sa malaki rin po yung natitipid nila through the use of the ICT test kit. And so now here is our table after the introduction of the ICT test kit. Now from the year 2011, they included now the year 2022, 2023. From 12, it rise up to 34 and 33. So it really is a major or drastic increase, or a massive increase rather. And on a lighter note, we do not see this as a negative impact. Instead, just like the award, we see to it that even if we have high animal rabies cases, we do management, we do solutions with it, and it only means that we're doing a great surveillance in terms of rabies, and we're looking of course to sustainable solution regarding it. Actually, sa office po namin, minsan pinagpupustahan pa po namin yung sino kaya yung makakatama kung ilan yung rabies cases namin for this year. Ayan, kasi imagine po, hindi pa po tapos yung taon, pero meron na po kami 33 cases. And just kanina lang po, meron na po agad rabies case report ulit. So, good luck to us. And then, yeah, looking back on our history of the animal rabies cases for this year, you can see that the number one suspect of the transmission of animal rabies cases to different barangays, of course, the stray dogs. Yeah, number one culprit of our rabies transmission. And our solution to this, of course, still continued dog impounding operations in different barangays. Okay, so In here, we have our number of human bite victims from year 2022 to 2023. We also have a high increase in terms of the human bite victims, but we do not take this negative side, because we see it only means that these high numbers, we were able to save their lives, right? So, and of course, it's all because of the quick response of our rabies surveillance team to the use of the LFD, or lateral flow device. Overall, the impact of the LFD, or ICT test kit rabies elimination program in our city, is the rabies surveillance rapid response through One Health approach. How? Because we can early detect the cases, and through this early detection, we can provide early protection to the bite victims. All right. So also through the help of our rabies surveillance network group chat, we can endorse the human bite victims to the City Health Office, Animal Bite Treatment Center, so that they can provide free post-exposure to these human bite victims. And yeah, so sometimes they make it free if they need to be given rig. So through this, we can also raise community awareness within the area of the case report. Thereby, also we can conduct stray dog impounding activities within the area as well, and ring vaccination, immediate ring vaccination within the vicinity. So one of our success stories in the year 2022, this was a case of a stray dog animal, wherein he bites two children within along the way, and then ang hirap magkwento sa English. Tagalog na lang po. So, meron pong dalawang bata. Dalawang bata po na naglalaro po sila, lato-lato, joke lang. Naglalaro po sila, and then suddenly, there was a stray dog, no, na nakagat po niya yung dalawang bata. So, ito na po dalawang bata, they were, nakawala po kasi yung aso. So, it ran away. And then, one of the parents of yung bata po, nag-post sa Facebook. Nag-post po siya sa Facebook na nakagat po yung anak niya and na nakawala na. So one of the netizens commented po through that post na meron siyang nakuhanan na picture po na naghihingalo po yung aso. So naghihingalo po siya, and then tinanong niya po yung parent if ito po ba yung nakakagat sa anak ninyo. So to cut the story, na-surrender po yung animal through the help of the guard. Tapos na-test po, and it turned out to be positive. Also through the ICT and the FAT test. Yeah. And one of also another case. Ito naman po, it was a case in our City Vet Hospital. It was a case of a beagle presented with redness. Initially, it was diagnosed with parang anaphylactic shock po. So nangangati siya, kamot ng kamot, and parang wala din po sa sarili and hirap huminga. So dyspnea. And then, so that was by history taking. Upon the interview, the owner said na parang may nakain daw po. And then it tried to vomit. It tries to vomit pero retching, walang nilalabas. So, nung sinabi po yung owner, and tinanong po namin kung may mga vaccines siya, wala din naman. So, immediately suspected for rabies. So, immediately, when the animal died, we immediately conducted the ICT and With the help of the ICT, we had an immediate result, and it turned out to be positive. All right, so thanks to the ICT, and then next, also tested positive din po siya upon the DFAT. Next, our third case of the success stories. This was a case of a non-compliant owner. So upon history taking din po, the initial complaint or the chief complaint was nagtatry din po mag-vomit or retching din po yung patient. And restlessness or wala po sa sarili po yung patient. So we initially suspected for rabies, but the owner was in denial po siya. So lagi nila po sinasabi na nasa loob lang daw po ng bahay, paano magkaka-rabies yan. We often hear that. So though we explained naman po na baka lang po suspected pa lang naman siya. And they refused for their pet to be tested kasi very attached po sila doon sa patient, ayaw nilang ipaputol po yung ulo, pero namatay kasi po yung patient. So we insisted na sana ipatest nila. So kaso matigas po yung ulo nila, but through parang napilit din naman po, na-persuade din naman namin sila eventually. And then after that, positive po sa ICT po yung atin po specimen. Also, through the FAT confirmed na positive na po. So, in response to our positive cases, we continuously conduct stray dog catching. Alright, to wrap up my presentation, I would like to leave this code, very beautiful code. To save time is to lengthen lives. So through the use of the ICT, we were able to save time, and therefore we were able to save lives. So there you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Doc Paula. You really saved time. And it will lengthen our life here. So, sorry, I wasn't able to properly introduce you. Kasalanan po yan ni Doc RB kasi pinahirapan kanya mag-English. Gusto lang niya na may kadamay. Ayun. So, thank you so much po. And so, moving forward sa ating program, may we call on the my mentor from RADBL 5, Dr. Rona P. Bernales. Oh, sorry. I went ahead. Sobrang ano pala, na-explain ako kasi kanina. Natuwa ako masyado. Well-deserved daw po yung inyong award kanina, Doc. So parang nawala ako sa isip ko. Sorry, Doc. So we'll call on Antipolo City, Dr. Angelica Martinez. Thank you po, Dr. Tony.
Hindi po ba ito?
Perfect.
Mas gusto niyo po yan.
Yung
Tuloy natin
pointer.
ito. Ano natin ito? Kasya po. Gusto niyo dito na lang. Dito na lang po. Natulog. Okay na ba?
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Angelica A. Martinez, Doc G for short. I am one of the personnel in the rabies focal team for the City Veterinary Office of Antipolo. So, I'm here today to present to you our experience using the lateral flow device as well as the rabies data share system. So, I'll give you a brief background on our rabies program, sampling diagnosis and response in the past, as well as what it is now. And I will present to you some selected ICT cases, as well as our learnings and challenges during these past 6 months. So Antipolo City is the only component city in Rizal, consists of 16 barangays separated into 2 districts, has an estimated dog and cat population of over 100,000, and conducts regular rabies monitoring and surveillance. So for the past few years, we recorded our confirmed positive cases of rabies in animals, and we have our peak at 2021 with 27 cases. And it is followed by the year 2022 with 21 cases. So here, this is the diagram of our rabies program, vaccination and animal control. So either the barangay requests vaccination schedule to our office, or our office schedules a vaccination program within the barangay. So the office will dispatch its veterinarians. So each veterinarian will manage 4 barangays each. Then we have our animal control team. This is only one team which has jurisdiction to all 16 barangays. Then our fast baby sampling diagnosis and response last year, usually it takes around 7 to 17 days to respond to a positive case. So when we have a captured suspected rabid animal or surveillance samples, usually it is stored for a long period of time in the freezer, because we can really send out regularly the samples to the Bureau of Animal Industry. So it takes around 5 to 14 days before we send it in bulk to the laboratory, and within 2 to 3 days, when the result turns out positive, we conduct a ring vaccination, information education campaign, contact tracing, and as well as the animal control operations. So with that, last year, so we were approached last November by Dr. Novo and his team to be introduced to the lateral flow device, as well as the rabies data share system. So we were also invited to the trainers training seminar, which was conducted last November, and we learned in detail on how to perform the sampling method, the lateral flow device, as well as how to utilize the rods. So after that, we immediately re-echoed to our staff, especially the animal control team, because they are considered the frontliners in our rapid responses. And we also built our facility, our remote diagnostic laboratory, last December. Now, it only takes around half a day to 1 day to respond to a positive case. So when we have a captured or suspected rabid animal, we observe for it. If it dies, or if a dead animal was suspect of rabies, we immediately test it. So within 15 minutes, if the test turns out positive, the rapid rabies response was conducted immediately, either half a day or the following day. And the samples are still pulled for later testing and confirmation at the laboratory. So yeah, our first case, this is our very first case. It is from Sitio Junction, Barangay San Jose. So this is a 2-year-old male dog, which was owned but leashed outside. Its vaccination history is unvaccinated, and upon capture, it has injury on its hind legs. So yung storya dito, on New Year's Eve, the dog was observed to be lethargic. Then the owner released the dog from its leash, and it attacked 3 dogs from its neighbors. So with that, the owner prompted to call the animal control team for surrendering her dog. Yeah. The next day, the dog died around morning of 8 a.m. and it was tested by Dr. Vergara, and it turned out positive. So with that, upon further verification with Dr. Nobu, a joint investigation was conducted the next day. So we have 3 teams here, one from JAPOHR, headed by Dr. Nobu, one from the City Veterinary Office, headed by Dr. Eya, and one from the City Health Office, headed by Dr. Alat. So we went to the area, and again, the dog was leashed outside. So it is really at risk for infection with the rabies virus, and it is really exposed to the elements. So with the lead of Dr. Rapat, we interviewed the owner as well as some of the victims. Upon interview, there was no reported human victim. only animal victims. So one of the onlookers presented herself, Miss Ledesma Mulion. She is the city chairman, and her dog was the first one to be bitten by the rabid dog. The history of this dog, it was unvaccinated, and upon inspection, it was apparently weak. So it was recommended that the dog was to be put in quarantine in the city pound of Antipolo. So after a month, the dog did not manifest signs of rabies and was returned to the owner, vaccinated and for observation. Thanks. So yeah. With the lead of Ms. Ledesma, we also came in contact with the other victims, dogs. So luckily for these two dogs, they were vaccinated 6 months prior. So they were revaccinated. And here we have our city health personnel with Ma'am Casey on educating the constituents in the area. So parang yung nabanggit kanina, these remote areas kasi, they still believe in the myths on rabies and folk remedies. So it is important to educate them and dispel these notions for them to seek proper treatment. Next, we coordinated with the barangay captain. So here, we coordinated with the schedule of the ring vaccination within the area. And in the afternoon, Ma'am Casey also introduced the rights to our city health personnel for them to access and input data. Ring vaccination was conducted the next day with the lead of Doc Biri. Our second case for this day is Sitio El Dorado, Barangay San Jose. So this is a notorious area for us because rabies cases in animals are rampant here. And formerly in humans, human rabies cases are also rampant formerly. So here we have our first case in this area from Avenida Street. We have a 6-year-old female dog, which was owned but free roaming. And it also was unvaccinated. So the story here is that the dog was roaming when the first bite incident happened on a Saturday. The dog was leashed for observation, and it manifested signs of restlessness, aggression, and hypersalivation. So the next morning, when the animal control team picked up the dog, it was already dead. And it has cable tie wires around its head. So we have suffocated she is very distraught when the team interviewed her because her dog not only bitten 3 minors, but also exposed to animals. So one animal is her other dog. So she was advised to put her dog in quarantine, on quarantine. Nice. So ring vaccination was conducted, and within that day, the city health also came with us to investigate other victims, human victims. And after 14 days, the dog was returned. So from Ma'am Soledad, it was vaccinated and for observation for 19 days. So with that, we have composed a timeline of sample testing from January 4 until recently July 4. And in summary, we have a total of 26 head samples tested. Currently, we have 19 considered positive cases in Antipolo. And we have 17 tested positive with the ICT test, 9 tested negative with the ICT test, 13 ICT positive samples were positive upon DPAT, 6 ICT negative samples were negative upon DPAT. We have 3 ICT positive and 1 ICT negative that were not sent for DPAT, either to sample error. So that was our very first case, since we did an error in sample set out and sample degradation. So we didn't submit this sample because the smell is really pungent now, and we opted to bury the samples. Then we have an ICT negative sample that turned out positive upon DPAT. So this is a false negative because it was explained that there was an error in homogenization. So there was a delayed reaction to the test because we stored the test kit in the freezer when after testing for the first time. Then upon 1 month, we saw the test kit with a positive line. So there was a delayed response. So now we also have the one sample who was directly tested with DPAT. This came from a private clinic and was not sent through us. And here we have a summary of positive cases with the exposed animals, status updates, and ring vaccination done. So here, most of them are alive. Some are dead. So this one became our other case, 004. Next. Here, we have others who are not reported to be dead, which they succumb to the injuries from the bite of the rabid dog. And some are dead when the team went to the area, which happened recently. And here we have our case distribution. So our reigning barangay is Barangay San Jose. And we have a noticeable clustering around this area. So here we will concentrate on this area because here the clustering. So in conclusion, so for the test and the RADS data share, RADS, it is a convenient way of remotely testing for rabies, as well as presenting an online archive for reports that can be sent instantly to concerned stakeholders, thus enhancing rapid responses. So what we learned during this journey is that sample labeling and specimen send out should be prioritized, especially after testing, because it prevents sample mismatch, which happened on our earlier months. Third samples, we aim to collect samples as fresh as possible. But if it's not available, we thaw them earlier. So for the ICT negative samples, we now homogenize thoroughly the samples before putting it in the test kit. Then animal movement restriction, so it's limited again. We have only one team for 16 barangays. But in cases that areas are turned out positive, we prioritize these areas. Then we orient our personnel on active case investigation. So we provided a simplified form of case investigation so they can follow. And we orient them on what to collect, what data, what to collect, like the coordinates, the owner's details, the victim details, etc. And IEC is an integral part of rapid response. So we are not only going to the area just to vaccinate or just to investigate, but we also need to educate the community on these biting incidents. So where do they go when they are bitten, or what to do with the animal if they suspect to be rabid, and the like. And collaboration with the city health office is an advantage. So we already have the close relationship with our city health office. this further was enhanced during these last 6 months because when we go to the area, having the city health office personnel there gives us a burst of persuasion or nagiging rest back namin sila. So lalo na dun sa mga tao na ayaw magpabakuna, those who refuse to seek treatment. Yeah, it is very helpful to have the city health personnel at your back. And also in cases na there are fight victims, they also throw them to us for reporting. With that, thank you for listening, and I hope it gives you a glimpse on how our experience with the LFD and RADS was for these past 6 months. DIE.
Thank you so much, Doc G. And thank you for sharing your best experience while using the RADS and also the LFD. And thank you so much for your hard work. So moving forward po, we'll hear from RADDL 5, Dr. Rona P. Bernales.
Good, everyone. It's already 12:35, so they still want me to continue this or we post for a break because I'm nervous. I don't know if I can make it to the end of the presentation. Sorry for that. So, before I start my presentation, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the JAPOHR project team, especially Dr. Nobu, for extending the rabies diagnosis training in Region 5, and to Dr. Jeff and Dr. Joy for assisting us, and also our regional director in behalf of our regional director and the RADL team and all the participants, LGU participants. Also want to extend our heartfelt thanks, sininervis talaga ako, for making this training a successful one for all of us in Bicol region. After the Stance Rabies project last 2015, we can say that the implementation in Region 5 is not that very active. There is no more sustainability on the vaccination and other activities that to be implemented in all the provinces. And with this training, all of the veterinarians provincial-wide and city-wide, they are very thankful that and saying that, Doc, this is the first time again that we will be convened to have a training on the rabies eradication or rabies and rabies strategies that will be done in our region. So to continue in our laboratory, this presentation outline will be the introduction, background, and a brief overview on the rabies situation in Region 5, the lateral flow device regional training, the report on site inspection of remote rabies laboratory, the outcome, the positive impact, lesson learned, challenges, and ways forward that we're thinking to do next few months. So, as a laboratorian, we are mandated to perform various laboratory tests for diagnosis of major animal diseases and parasites, and to monitor incidence and prevention of infectious disease in our region. We envision to be a center of quality diagnostic services for food safety, increased productivity, and dynamic animal industry. And with this, we want to provide prompt and accurate diagnostic services of major animal diseases for the prevention and control of any disease outbreak. Some of our functions and services follow these objectives: to perform various laboratory tests, examination for the diagnosis of major animal diseases, to conduct disease investigation, surveillance, and thereafter disease diagnosis, We also have to perform collaborative endeavors on animal health and disease prevention and control program with the Bureau of Animal Industry, the Animal Disease Diagnostic Reference Laboratory, the livestock program, research outreach station, and other institutions. We also provide technical extension services to local government units on diagnostic procedure to address the needs in the implementation of animal diseases control and prevention program. And like others, we also provide trainings to local government units, livestock technicians on animal disease surveillance and field sample collection to support national disease prevention, control, and eradication program. We also provide free consultations, recommendation to clients regarding problems on disease control, prevention, and conduct research on animal health. And this is our organizational chart headed by our Regional Executive Director, Rodel Pictornilla, and we are under the operation, the Regional Technical Director, we're under the Regional Technical Director for Operations headed by Luz Marcelino. Unlike other regions, they're under the Regulatory Division, but in Bicol, we're under the Operations, and our head in the Integrated Laboratory, headed by Mr. Lorenzo Albina and me. You could notice that we are only 10 personnel in the laboratory right now with 2 permanent personnel. So this is our new building. We moved in last February. So we have been operating for almost 5 months now. And our current location is in the DA compound, DAILD compound in San Agustin, Pili, Camarines Sur. And this is our rabies building, a separate building at the back of the main RADDL building. And I also showed here the layout to consider the unidirectional flow of movement inside the rabies lab. So going through the canine rabies status in Region 5, actually we are using RICT. We started using RICT year 2022, but we do not do it all through the samples that we tested. We only conducted the test to all those suspect samples. And in 2022, we were able to detect 50 positive cases throughout the region. And in 2023, as of today, we have 36 positive cases. All this in this year, we conducted both the RICT and the DFAT to all the samples that we are receiving. And these are just a detailed presentation for the DFAT and RICT results monthly, but I'm not going to make a details on it. Sa tagal tayo baka himatay na ako dito. Okay, so for the human rabies cases, so this is our source. My source is the CHD Bicol, CHD5 Bicol, and in 2022 we have 16 positive cases, or we have fatalities, and as of May this year we already have 8. So looking through the figure, we are almost half of those fatalities last year. And recently we have this, I think the other day, the Bicol CHD conducted our training activity for all other LGUs who are interested in putting ABTC in their municipality because of the increasing number of dog bites. And because of the Mayon eruption, some of those victims from Albay went to BMC in Naga City to have their post-exposure, and there's really an influx of bite victims. So, last March 2 to 3, the JAPOHR BAI team decided to conduct a laboratory assessment in Region 5, and these are some documentation. Actually, we are very nervous in this because March 3 is just a month after we move into the lab. So we will consider the preparation, the adjustment, moving in a new laboratory. We still have lack of machinery or equipment, especially the rabies building. It doesn't have any air condition. So just to imagine working with all the PPEs. So I told my boss, Mr. Albina, that I don't think we can make it. We still have a month to prepare for the building. And sabi niya, don't worry, we can make it. Just hold on. So fortunately, he borrowed some of the air conditioned units that are not being used to other labs, and put it in our rabies lab. So I was very happy because knowing the procurement protocol in our office in the government, it will take a year to have all this to materialize. And thank you for that. We were able to, I think, impress. Sorry for that. We were Dr. Nobu and the team finally decided to conduct the training in our new building. I even suggested, or I even recommended Sorsogon province for the site for the training, but due to the distance and some other security issues, Dr. Nobu decided to conduct the training in Pili Camarines Sur. And thank you for that, Dr. Nobu. And with that, the schedule for the real training for the rabies diagnosis, rabies data share system, and rabies One Health response, rapid response materialized May 30, 31, and June 1. Maybe you will be asked, why is it 3 days? So the objective of the training is to provide LGUs in Region 5 with rabies rapid diagnosis and rapid response case management using One Health approach. And we invited 12 LGUs. Actually, I included all the LGUs with veterinarians, but Dr. Nobu decided to choose only 12 who will be actively participating on the activity. And with that, we included Albay. Hopefully they are joining us online. The 12 parties, the 12 LGUs. Hello po sa inyo. Nininervous na ako dito. Okay, so for Albay, we have three participants from Albay Veterinary Office, Tabaco City, and Legazpi City. So we prioritize those LGUs with existing dog pound. Okay, and in Camarines Norte, we included the Provincial Veterinary Office and the Municipal City Vet Office. In Camarines Sur, we all know that we don't have a provincial veterinarian, but we decided to have them trained later on. So we prioritize Naga City and Iriga City. And in Sorsogon, we have the Provincial Veterinary Office and the Sorsogon City Vet Office. In Catanduanes, we only have one site, the Provincial Veterinary Office, and in Masbate, the Provincial Veterinary Office and Aroroy Municipal Veterinary Office. So those comprises the 12 municipalities that were successfully finished and graduated the 2 days training. So this is what I'm saying earlier, why we have day 0. We all know that being employee in the government is not that easy to become a permanent one. So the vet that we sent for the trainers training last November decided to continue her practice in a private sector. So there were only 2 veterinarians left and we don't have the proper training. And that's why we requested the team to train us a day before the training, a very quick training, so we can help and assist all the participants that we invited. So day 0, we have the orientation on the use of the lateral flow device, the orientation on the use of the rabies data share system, and the actual demonstration on the use of the lateral flow at the laboratory. At the end of the day, we finished the first day, the day 0 training. And with this, I also decided to invite other vets, although even though they are not they are not in our division, they are not working in our division, but I requested the director to include at least 2 other veterinarians to help us in facilitating this training. Okay, so day 1, this is the real one. So the training, the day 1, and on this picture, we're very thankful that our farmer director, Mrs. Bernadette de los Santos, and our regional technical director for operation, Ma'am Luz Marcelino, joined us in the first day training. And the support, we can really feel the support of our executives in the department. And we can see the participation, active participation of all the vets and other technicals that joined the training on that day. And for the day 2, the hands-on training on the lateral flow device and the hands-on training on rods and the turnover of the LFT starter kit to LGU participants. And of course, the last one, the last picture, the graduation part. So with that, the concept of the training, we have to establish rabies remote laboratory. And we decided to conduct a site assessment, but because of the Mayon eruption, Dr. Nobu wasn't able to join me. So I did all the assessment by myself. Okay, so anyway, Dr. Nobu will still have to visit us and reassess those LGUs that I've done. So I did the assessment in Albay with the Albay Veterinary Office, and they are proposing to put up a remote lock in their Albay animal pound in Malinaw, Albay, and the upper part in Tabaco City, Legazpi City, and two areas in Sorsogon, the Sorsogon PVO and Sorsogon City. So I did all the assessment in 2 days for all these 5 sites. Okay, going through, for the Sorsogon Provincial Veterinary Office, this is their office. Ano po ba to? Diba? This is their new office located in Gubat, Sorsogon. And on the other side of this is their shelter out around here, their shelter, animal shelter. So this is the main office, and the laboratory is located here on the left side of the office. So this is how the rabies laboratory look like. I even told them it is more even spacious in our in our lab. And this is their burial site. Because until now, or because due to the change in management in the PVO, they have the fund for the procurement of the crematorium, but unfortunately, it has been realigned to other object, and they were not able to procure the crematorium last year. So they don't have any choice but to dig a burial site nearby their office for the disposal of the carcasses. And this is the entrance door to the rabies laboratory. So going through the city veterinary office, they are proposing to have the site at the laboratory remote, or the remote laboratory site in their Sorsogon City dog pound. So this is the compound of the city dog pound, and of course the interview with Dr. Distura and the other vets. And this is the area for the burial site. It's quite wide, so sabi ko, you can bury all those unwanted dogs here. Joke lang po. And this is the proposed site, as the office room in here. So they will convert this office in this area to a site laboratory, and they're still looking for funds for the renovation. And this is how it looks like now now, and maybe next time we can show the actual laboratory for this. So going to Albay, the Mayon eruption area. This is in Tabaca City. They also moved in their new office. Akita natin, it's maganda, diba? So they are proposing two sites, one in their Tabaca City dog pond and another office just nearby the dog pond. So I have interviewed Dr. Rene Rocha and Dr. Kim Romero for this activity, and also their seed agriculturists, and this picture is taken at the dog pound, just in front of the dog pound. And these are the facilities inside. They have this dog isolation cage, and the burial site, they have two close ano tawag dito? Septic tank. So sabi ko, Doc, you can occupy the the one where you're standing. Joke lang po. And then this is the office at the dog pound, and they are proposing to convert it into a lab. So it still needs some renovation to conduct the activity. Hopefully by Dr. Rocha told me that they already have the plan. It is an approved plan, and they have all the preparations. They're just waiting for the fund to be released. And for the Albay Veterinary Office, this is their newly built dog pound in Malinaw, Albay. You can see that here's the Mayon, diba? It's really nice to visit here, Doc Nobu. Okay, so this is the front side of the dog pound with the cages inside, at least 3 rows of cages. And the last one over there is the dog isolation cage. So, and this is a picture of my interview with Dr. Manny Victorino, the one handling the animal health and rabies program in Albay. And this is the proposed site for their laboratory room. This is the office, storage room, and this is the proposed laboratory room. And the inside of this, they already have the table, the surgical table, and the refrigerator. And at the back of the office or the dog pound, we can see the burial site here. So it's still there's still a lot of areas for the burial of some carcasses. So going to Legazpi City, actually this picture is their old dog pound, but they are not operating anymore, and they converted it right on as a breeding center, animal breeding center. And they are requesting for fund for the renovation, but I told them, sorry, Doc, but the renovation for the site will be shouldered by the LGU. That's why they're still proposing for the funds for the renovation of this site, and hopefully for next year we can establish a lab, a remote lab in this area. Okay, the picture above is the interview with Dr. Emmanuel Estipona. So for the outcome, of course, to perform rapid rabies animal disease diagnosis by straw sampling method and lateral flow device, to set up a rabies remote laboratories in participating LGUs, and to use rabies data share system. Actually, in Bicol region, we have plenty of projects being supported by other organizations like the University of Warwick, wherein we have this BITERS project that has been, we monitored all the bite incidents in 3 ABTC in Albay, and it is also a nice activity. It requires an application, and it requires a dedicated personnel to monitor and to follow up all the bite victims all throughout the 14 days or 21 days of their post-exposure treatment. And to have a quick responses when a rabies animal is detected. Dr. Nobu keep on reminding me, Rona, are your email registered in the RODS? Because we keep on receiving notifications that you have positive cases, reported positive cases in Bicol. Actually, I did not. I did not register my personal email, but our office email ad. And lastly, to recognize the importance of One Health approach. This is what really empowerment, veterinary empowerment, as Dr. Noble said earlier, a day after, just 3 days after the training, we received a notification from Aurora Masbate that they detected one positive case in their municipality. Somehow we cannot say that, or we can say that more municipalities are negative. They don't have positive cases, but believe me, that's not the real scenario. It only means that there is no reporting on what is really going on in the ground. For several years, Masbate Island or Masbate province, we doesn't have any positive cases because of the distance of the island to the laboratory and the challenges in transporting all the samples, who will shoulder the expenses on the boat fare and then the transfer from the pier to our laboratory. Before we made arrangement to them that they can send the sample via any boat or any shipping agency, or just make coordination to the quarantine officers in the pier, and the quarantine officer will call us, or Doc, we have samples here from Masbate. You can make some arrangement on how you can take this samples. So before we have this service, and we easily picked up the samples, but now we don't have the service vehicle anymore, and that's a big challenge for all other municipalities and provinces to bring their samples, or in order for us to pick their samples just to have it tested. So with this, Aroroy, it is their first time to have documented positive case, and I don't even assess their lab yet, or their site yet, but he sent me pictures that they have a small clinic, a small room in their office that they can be used for this particular activity. But I advised him, of course, to be very cautious on those biosafety, biosecurity measures that we need to observe in opening and doing this testing. So next is the Iriga City. So they also detected the presence of the virus in the same barangay in a span of a week. So we can really see here the quick responses and the rapid responses that we need to apply, especially when we are encountering this kind of incidences. In just a few days, another positive case, another dog showed manifestations of a rabies case, and luckily, actually, the vet from City Vet, Iriga City Vet Office is the last participants that we included on the list of the participants. And we can really see here the commitment and the dedication of all the participants that joined the training. They really want to stop and spread to stop the spread of this rabies. And in Albay, they also detected one case in Ginubatan, and this is the sample, and this has been performed by Dr. Victorino. But before, our old laboratory is located in Kamalig, and the Albay Veterinary Office is just a few meters away from us. And that those years, we always say that, oh, we are having more cases in Albay. So, of course, sabi nila, that's because the laboratory is in Albay, and most of us, it is very accessible to send our samples in your lab. So right now that we moved in a different municipality, a 2.5 drive from Albay, we are experiencing difficulties in the transport of samples. But thank you for this lateral flow device. They can do the testing in their area and just send us the head sample for confirmation. And also in Sorsogon, they detected one case in Bulan, although there are some cases already in those places. But they still performed the lateral flow device, and they detected one from Bulan. But this one, we're the one who conducted the lateral flow device testing, because they don't have Legazpi City that is not capable to do it. They don't have the place, and we decided to just do the testing in our lab. And for the positive impact and lesson learned, of course, the rapid rabies diagnosis through the use of simple and rapid test kit. The training of RICT laboratory analysts is simple and accessible via the RADDL, and rapid rabies diagnosis can assist in the conduct of quick infection control to both animal and human in the implementation of public health control measures. Okay, for the challenges, actually, I don't want to mention all this, because we all have these challenges in our operation, in our municipalities. Number one, budgetary concern. We only have a few allocation for the animal health program, and the manpower requirement. Most of the personnels are in the retiring age, and new personnels are coming in, so we still need to train them and be familiarized on the operation. And the biosecurity concern, the logistic accessibility, and lastly, the local executive commitment to implement the program. I understand that most of us, this is our common battle in our LGUs, especially whenever there's a new re-elected or new election, the new coming up of new officials, we're going to start again, orienting them on how they can support us in our endeavor in this rabies campaign. And for the ways forward, of course, the continuous use of the RICT with the support of JICA for the testing kits, the NOVU. For now, we cannot easily procure yet the testing kit, because we already have the funds for the whole year, and we will be planning for the next year. And I already advised, I advised the provincial beds, city beds, to at least allocate a portion of their fund to procure this testing kit in order for them to perform the testing, because considering the distance of their areas in our new location right now, it will be a great challenge for all of us. And more trainings for interested LGUs. Actually, during the preparation of the training, I included all the vets, all the municipalities with vet personnel. I included them on the list, but we have to narrow down the participants, and some of those are trying to reach out if they can have the training. And I told them that maybe next time we can make another proposal for the training, and we will be included for that. So okay naman. And the very important one is the assessment, site inspection of the remote laboratories, because we all know that all those trained veterinarians are very committed They really want to actively participate on the project to eliminate the rabies incidents in their locality. And we really have to make sure that the areas, the site where they will be performing the activity will be safe for safety measures. Of course, we cannot prevent other people looking or passing on that areas, on those rooms. So we have to make sure that it is really safe for them to open up those heads positive with rabies. And we have seen that we still have lack training on the biological and chemical spill management. And we are considering it as one training in the future to all those participants who join the training. And with that, it's almost 1 o'clock and you are all silent. Am I are making it easy for us to sleep, or you are listening to the sound of your stomach? It's almost 1 o'clock. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for your participation. Or thank you for listening. Thank you very much.